Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. Mahindra War Room, Season 10. (2,110 teams, 25 B schools. The ultimate battle for glory. Mahindra War Room is back. Mahindra War Room provides its contestants a platform to tackle live and compelling business problems and pitch ideas to the top brass of the organization and get their valuable feedback. Every year, the brightest young minds in India and across a few hand-picked international campuses are put to the test on one of the most challenging platforms, the Mahindra War Room.
Whenever a first choice car is rolled out of the store, the dealer will automatically register the car on the portal and download the app on its phone.
The glorious competition completes a decade this year. It has gained popularity for carving disruptive strategies out of some of the finest minds in India over the years.
This year we are celebrating 10 years of Mahindra War Room, and there are very few events which have really stood the 10 years of time frame. What students look for here is the real business challenges that the business leaders are putting forth towards them, and they have the ability to really use their ingenuity and come out with solutions which is evaluated by business leaders, and feedback is given to them on how good are the quality of their ideas.
In its 10th edition, the case study competition promises to stump the teams with 18 real-life business challenges faced by Mahindra companies across various sectors.
Not just for product, about the business model, is there anything new or anything differentiated you are suggesting apart from the product thing which you have mentioned?
If you wanted to take a very live problem at a corporate and introduce academic knowledge and research orientation to it, what you can get out of it is some sheer magic of creating a new business model. Some of you will come to win, but all of you have won the moment you've taken the first step. So that's the way I'll explain it to them, and look at it. I mean, I wish in my age and time this was possible. It is possible for you. So please join the gang who's looking at real business cases and coming with real solutions, many of which have been implemented with great success in corporate world.
I think from a learning standpoint, it's a fantastic platform, and this feedback we get all the time from the youngsters who come for these war rooms, because the kind of exposure and the cross-learning. I mean, sitting here, they've got all the institutes of India and Korea, China coming here, and they can exchange ideas, learn from each other, which is really fantastic. So I think if I was a student participating in the war room, I would have learned a lot in this journey.
Every season of the challenge has witnessed cutthroat competition as the teams would battle it out for the coveted title. Only one team emerges victorious after an intense face-off amongst the finalists and is crowned as the champion of Mahindra War Room. The past 9 seasons haven't just created winners, but have created success stories.
I would like to say that that moment and that experience of working very hard for the war room, having to cover all the different facets of that problem statement that was given to us, it does really help us in the kind of work that we are doing now. So I can flawlessly and fearlessly go and meet my clients, and I know that whatever I'm going to suggest or recommend to anyone definitely has value.
There is no spoon feeding when you crack these kind of case studies. So what happens is in a real world situation also, nobody is going to tell you this is the problem. You will have to identify your problem, define your own research, go out in the market, get insights, and then build the operational model, and then present it to the top management that this is how the financial model will look like. So everything that we do, I have done for an EA to a CEO or EA to chairman, has been mostly borrowed from what I have done in the case study.
Most important was, it inspired me to actually take up solving real world problems. That is something that I would say was my biggest takeaway from Mahindra War Room. Because as an entrepreneur, I always believe that whatever solutions you are providing have to be simple and unique, and also something that you can give back to the society. That is something that I think Mahindra War Room would my life transformed out of Mahindra War Room that way.
The ability to communicate your ideas crisply and clearly, of course backed by high quality research, is something that we learnt in an accelerated way during the whole War Room experience, because it's not every day that you sit in front of such an eminent jury up on stage with 7 minutes to present the sector strategy for an entire business sector. And I think the way it all came together, the way you kind of refine your thinking, refine your presentation, refine your thoughts, is something that has really stayed with me, and I think helps me day in and day out as I go about communicating with various stakeholders around me.
Winning itself was extremely euphoric. We felt amazing that we won, all our hard work paid off. And eventually, after that, I soon got an offer from Mahindra to join the Life Spaces company, because that was the case that we'd chosen. So I can definitely say that my life has changed. Really excited to be a part of this company, which allows me to explore that side, as well as take on real life problems, work with real cases that the company is going through, and I think that's really rewarding.
Year after year, Mahindra War Room has seen exceptional participation, wherein top B schools lock horns to grab a spot in the grand finale.
See, 10 years ago, nobody would have talked about the electric vehicle ecosystem. I don't think it even featured in the conversation. 3 or 4 years ago, the conversation on the future of mobility had started, and I think one of the winning teams, probably they came second, made a wonderful presentation on the future of mobility. That conversation has built up a lot more now, and there is far greater granularity on transportation, mobility, electric vehicles. The conversations in agriculture likewise have evolved a lot. And today we are talking about how to double farmer income, and the solutions being proposed are very interesting solutions, some of which have a lot of potential, and our businesses will be happy to try them out. So as the War Room evolves, as the problems that the country faces evolves, the solutions themselves are finding newer form.
Mahindra War Room, Season 10.
In its 10th season, the competition gets tougher, with the adrenaline rushing and all guns blazing.
The value proposition that we are offering would be watershed development, multiple cropping and crop rotation on the case of farming, and in case of livestock, due to mechanization, the excess of labor that would be produced would be actually absorbed in the livestock sector.
Now, LKSK would assist the farmer throughout the stages of the farming cycle. That's the pre-cropping, cropping and the post-cropping phases.
It provides a huge opportunity for Mahindra to enter the Tier 2 market with high growth potential and low competition.
The contestants from across 25 most promising management institutes were presented with an opportunity to be a part of this prestigious platform. Here's a look at how the competition progressed.
Mahindra War Room, the first of its name, breaker of all stereotypes and mother of all competitions.
Over the years, War Room has presented the teams with some of the most intriguing themes, and this year, living up to its reputation, the theme was Face the Future.
The War Room themes have been very contextual. So with the launch of RISE in 2011, we had RISE as a theme. Then we had innovation as a theme. Then it went on for 3-4 years around on the theme of innovation. This year, we have built upon innovation, which is all about facing the future. If you look at it, businesses are in the cusp of growth. The global economy is not doing very well. The two large economies are facing challenges. And in the context of this, how will the various brands of Mahindra really grow? We are in a VUCA world, and growing out of disorder is a big challenge, and anti-fragility is something that our businesses need to build on. Anti-fragility is all about growing disproportionately out of disorder, and therefore the cases have been aligned around this theme of facing the future, managing anti-fragility.
The journey kick-started with the case launch across campuses when the case studies were revealed, and the students got a glimpse of the challenge they were up against this season.
What are the objectives of the War Room? Very clearly, we feel that we're going to equip you, but I think in the end, when the result is done, you will equip us.
So we have sort of tried to work around a 3-4-3 concept, which is adding to 10 minutes, and since it was season 10, we thought it would be a easier way of sort of standardizing the flow of the presentations, and I think that has worked very well. Wherein the first 3 minutes students present the big ideas, in the next 4 minutes they explain the why and how of it, and in the next 3 minutes they have interactions with the panelists, the jury members, and that's where the proposition that they put up is kind of tested or validated through the Q&A.
The case launch is followed by a campus evaluation round across the top B schools in India, China, South Korea, Philippines and Singapore.
In terms of SUVs, the Scorpio and Bolero models are sporty, durable and affordable, perfect for targeting millennials and career starters who are looking for unique, trendy and affordable vehicles.
The teams across campuses put their best foot forward to secure a spot in the next round.
This is the place that they visited, and this is the place they wanted to be. Wow, these are not people like normal people from India. These are international stars. They are coming here, they are saying it. So it must be good.
Once we have enough vehicles, the road prices will go back to the normal levels.
Mahindra War Room, Season 10.
The teams shortlisted from these campuses get an opportunity to present their ideas to the leaders from Mahindra Group in the virtual round with the CEOs.
Out of the truckers that we interviewed, 42% said that they face technological challenge in adapting the app.
Price cost, freight depots, supply demand and driver demand, all of them which could be mitigated using these ideas.
We now see a lot of technology coming into agriculture, and that's happening globally. This whole concept of agtech, like fintech, is becoming a buzzword in all the technology hotspot countries, right from Israel to Silicon Valley. We see that as a big emerging trend, and we would hence expect more B school students now to look at the farm sector as compared to the past when it was kind of seen as an old economy sector. It no longer is. It's, I think, very cutting edge right now.
What I look for in solution is only two things. One is, have they really done their homework? Have they really gone into depth, or is it very superficial or not? And second thing I look for is there any one differentiating factor? Because obviously we in business are looking at these solutions or looking at these problems day in and day out. So we have thought about, my guess is 70-80% of the things. But that one idea which we have not thought about, or that one thing which we didn't place emphasis about. I think that makes the difference, and that's what I look at in all the solution which we look at the campus, in the CEO round, or even here. And I think that which stands out for the team, for me, that team is the winner.
What I expect a winner to be is a person who is completely different. I'm hoping one Elon Musk emerges from one of this, and he shows the way how the future Mahindra is going to be.
This one is much better than, and if they can answer these questions a little bit more confidently in terms of broker.
It's a big idea, but it will work for our ecosystem.
After strict screening and deliberation, 8 teams from the virtual CEO round make it to the grand finale. But this isn't over yet for the other teams. The jury's pick round gives the remaining teams an opportunity to make it to the finale, and after intense scrutiny, 2 of these teams are selected by Mahindra's honorable jury members. The jury's pick round witnessed a fresh set of ideas presented by the talented contenders who competed for a spot in the grand finale.
What is the transformational thought? What is the radical thought? I mean, is someone, metaphorically putting it, is someone saying, you know, you should not use a picture or an image straight up, but use it reverse? What is that concept? What is that suggestion? And then why? And then how? And as things become more sophisticated, I think you're getting an internationalization of thought. And these youngsters are on top of everything, right? So I think consistently we get this very interesting paradigm of the traditional sort of Indian upbringing, schooling mindset evolving into this very modern manager to be or entrepreneur to be. And that confluence brings about absolute magic. And I think to that extent, the presentations this year have, as I said before, met and exceeded our expectations.
The international teams aren't spared too. The quest to find the top contenders didn't stop with management institutes across the length and breadth of the country.
Very tight, but we analysis at least several competitors. They are targeting at different customers.
Teams from international universities participated too, giving their Indian counterparts a tough fight to the finish.
But most importantly, we try to find consumer values behind the products. In our selection framework, we have selected Indonesia as the most suitable country to be the second home base for Mahindra.
The international stream has opened up a completely new set of solutions for us. And the perspectives coming from a locally operating set of students, I think that's a great value addition to the group.
Next week, we bring you the grand finale episode, where 11 teams march a step closer to the Dream Trophy.
Mahindra War Room, Season 10. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.